Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back into the Health IQ. It's a beautiful Tuesday, and we got two very special guests with us today, doing some amazing work in the medical field. My apologies. Please, y'all, welcome in Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler to the Health IQ. How are y'all doing today?
We are doing well this morning, brother. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I appreciate you guys for coming in today. And I just want to say, y'all know I used to want to do what you guys did.
Really?
Oh no,
Okay.
didn't know that. Didn't know that. Really.
My senior year, I took a sports medicine class.
Wow.
I found out it's not nothing sports at all. It's more about working on the body. So
Right.
Absolutely. Why did
Absolutely.
you guys get into this field?
Well, I got into it for several reasons. One, I had, just like you, I had such an infatuation with the human body. I was just enamored with how the body works, with the fact that God made us simple yet complex all at the same time. And I just wanted to find out more about this human body of ours and how it works and what I can do to help improve people's health and performance and all that good stuff.
So my journey is a little different. So in my other life, as I like to say, my studies were electrical engineering and math. So I was in that realm, right?
It's a transition.
It seems like a transition, and it's more of a development, is what I like to say. And so I knew that once I graduated from undergrad, at some point I was going to go back to grad school. Didn't know what I was going to go for, but once I decided to go back to grad school, I wanted to do something that would get me close to sports, as we talked earlier, right? And so chiropractic had already been introduced to my family years before I got involved with it. I actually had a cousin that co-managed my father before my father passed, and so I could see the benefits of chiropractic then. And so getting into chiropractic, a lot of people say that's a big transition from electrical engineering to being a doctor, but what I like to say is it's God's way of developing me to be the type of doctor that I am, because as chiropractors, the nervous system we take care of, that's what we take care of. It's the electrical system of the body. Me being an electrical engineer, I can understand that. And so, yeah.
Fire. So you guys met at Life University and built a strong bond. What inspired you two to turn to that connection, that relationship of yours, into a mission-driven practice like Aligned for Life Wellness?
Well, my journey into chiropractic was unique in that my senior year of college, I had an injury to my back. And, of course, at that time, I was pre-med on the conventional medical track towards medical school. But I realized at that point that the conventional medical route, as far as my treatment, my care of my injury, it was leaving me in a void. I wasn't pleased with the care that I was getting. I wasn't pleased with the advice that I was getting from my doctors. So a friend of mine at the time suggested that I go see a chiropractor. I knew absolutely nothing about chiropractic, and I was like, no, they're not real doctors, that type of thing. But at my wit's end, I finally decided to go see a chiropractor. And I will tell you, after my very first treatment, it literally changed my life in that moment. And I was so awe-inspired by it. I said, that is what I want to do. That is going to be my approach towards helping people to achieve ultimate health and wellness. So with that said, at that point, I graduated school. I got married within 6 months. I moved here to Atlanta to attend chiropractic school, and that's where I met this guy. And I knew immediately that first semester when we met, I knew instantly that we had a similar mind and philosophy when it came to health, wellness, our desires to want to help people that look like us, to provide health and wellness in our communities. And we just had an instant bond. We also have another bond. We're also fraternity brothers, unbeknownst to us at the time. So that made that transition a lot easier. So, we kind of bonded together at that point. We matriculated through chiropractic school together, and we knew that, we were going to enter this thing together as brothers, as business partners, so that we could do what we could for our community.
Yeah.
Why do you guys think less than 2% of chiropractors are Black?
Wow. So that's a loaded and heavy question, right? And I say that because let's look outside of chiropractic just for a moment. Just in the United States in general, healthcare in general, Black people, African Americans only represent about 12% of the
Really?
entire practitioners in the entire health system in this country. And so, again, that in and of itself puts a specific discipline like chiropractic even at a greater deficit, right? And so, again, there are many reasons that can be. You have economic reasons that we as Black people face. We have educational reasons, right? The fact of not being exposed, right? Because a lot of times we've heard the term, you become what you see. And if you don't see brothers like Dr. Williams and myself as chiropractors, not only as chiropractors, but owning our own clinic, if you don't see that, it's a good chance that you may not dream or aspire to be that. And so there are many, many different social, economic factors that come into play that we could talk about and probably have a whole show just on that alone about how Black people in general are in this country, in this world, actually are placed in predicaments that don't allow or have them to advance to higher means, to be not only help themselves, but help the community in general.
So one thing I do love is that you guys are bringing in scholarships and mentorship programs to help address this small number. Could you guys maybe break down exactly what you guys are doing?
Absolutely. So we've started one of our missions. Our mission was twofold. One, to bring health and wellness and what we do to our community, to communities that have been underserved, especially here in the Atlanta metro area, but also, to that end, also help to not only encourage, but increase the number of African Americans attending chiropractic school. Because again, we want to tackle that 2% disparity because we know in our communities, the health challenges that our people deal with, whether it be, blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, many of us are blue collar, so our bodies are broken down, over the years of, taking care of our families and working and things like that. So we need to have access to and know that there are alternatives to the conventional medical model that can afford us and get us the health and wellness that we need to not only to survive, but to thrive. So with that, we've started a nonprofit organization geared toward increasing educational opportunities for people that look like us to go to attend chiropractic schools, and we're even going to extend that to afford African Americans to attend undergraduate college so that they can get those prerequisites so that they can later on matriculate to chiropractic school.
Yeah, and just to add to that, we often hear in business that you have to get to the point to where you're not only working in the business, but you're working on the business, right? But that's how the business sustains itself, that's how it grows, that's how it becomes a legacy when, like, for example, when Dr. Williams and I retire and a line for life continues on, which is why we named it and didn't put it in neither one of our names, because this is bigger than us. And so the foundation, in my view, is us working on the business, not only of chiropractic, but on the business of helping our people, God's people, who are also not only Black, but all other shades as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I know there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of misconceptions about chiropractic care in our community. One thing I thought was that you only see a chiropractor like to get that accident money at the end of the day.
Right.
Well, this is Atlanta, so.
Yeah, right.
Let's start with Dr. Fowler.
Okay.
Tell me a misconception you heard in our community and maybe debunk it.
Yeah. So there are a lot of misconceptions. One, that we are massage therapists. I tell people all the time, I'm not finna massage you. This one right here, the lady next to me every night, she'll get a massage. But I'm not finna massage you. Now, I'll make you feel like you had a massage when you get finished. So there, you cracking, breaking bones. No. So as chiropractors, we take care of the nervous system, especially the central nervous system, which consists of the brain and spinal cord. All your other systems, hormone, immune, respiratory, reproductive, musculoskeletal, it doesn't matter. They all run off of that central nervous system. So if the central nervous system is not operating properly, none of the other systems are going to operate properly. I don't care how many drugs you take, how many surgeries you have. The first system to develop after conception. So after mom and dad gets through playing, And that the baby is conceived. The very first system to develop is the central nervous system, again, which consists of the brain and spinal cord. After that develop, God wraps bone around it. For the brain, it's the skull. For the spinal cord, it's the spinal bone or vertebra. After that develop, all the nerves of the body come out. Then after that, all the organs develop, heart, liver, spleen, all that. So we as chiropractors, and I say this all the time, and because there's a difference. When chiropractic is done properly, we have the ability to positively affect anything that's going on to you. I don't care what it is. Our youngest patient to date, as we have said, 2 days old. Oldest patient, 99. Right now in the office, we have cancer patients, stroke patients. Of course, accident. We live in Atlanta, so you know that was an accident. Seemed like every 30 seconds. Seemed like so of course we do take care of a lot of accident victims, but we have people that come to us with sinus issues, for example, because you can get your sinuses adjusted, and then allows that mucus to flow into the lymphatic system like it's supposed to, and you don't have the runny nose, watery eyes, and all that. We have females that come to us with libido and fertility issues, males erectile dysfunction, because again, everything starts and ends with that central nervous system.
Absolutely. So that's why we always tell our patients it's not about pain. You know, many of us don't want to or don't feel like we need to see a doctor until we're in pain. But we always tell our patients pain is an indicator, not a cause. It's the effect and not the cause. It's like saying the issue with your car is the fact that the check engine light is on. Not that the fact that the check engine light is on because there's an issue with the car, right? So it's about function. You know, our bodies thrive off of function and performance. You know, whether you're playing a sport or you're working a job or just going on about everyday life, it's about how your body is functioning. So from a chiropractic perspective, our focus is function. Do we treat people in pain? Absolutely. Yes. But again, we're not pain doctors, right? We're chiropractors. So once we ensure that your body is in proper alignment and in proper function, the pain takes care of itself. The lack or the dysfunction or lack of proper function takes care of itself. So that is the approach that we take in our office. We're big on educating our people, right? Because many of us, and you know, there's historical context with this. You know, many of us have been miseducated about our bodies when it comes to health and overall wellness and performance. So we're big on educating our patients when they come to see us, because again, your health is your wealth, right? And we only get one body, and we have to do what we can to take care of it. So that's why, you know, we're big on educating about overall performance, not just about escaping pain.
Right. It wasn't just Lauren that was miseducated. And those who know what I'm talking about.
But another thing both you guys have recently done is opened up a state-of-the-art facility on the south side of Atlanta. Why was it important for you guys to station it there in an underserved community?
Yeah, so as Black people, and I'm just talking specifically about Black people now, but people in general, Black people, we make money, all right? But because we don't have the amenities in our neighborhoods, oftentimes we will take that money outside of the neighborhood to go find those amenities that we want. And so Doc and I intentionally put a state-of-the-art facility, as you mentioned, on the south side in the Lakewood Heights area, which was a predominantly Black neighborhood. It's now going through gentrification, all that, still majority Black. But again, to show that you don't have to leave the neighborhood to be successful. You don't have to take what this God-given talent that God has given us and go to another neighborhood. Our people need it. Our people want it. We just have to present it. And so that's one of the main reasons, because we need it, and there's no reason to really go outside of the neighborhood when the need is there.
Yes, absolutely. We don't want our people to have to go across town to the ritzy parts of town, whether it's Buckhead, Alpharetta, you know, whatever, to get good quality health care. We need and we deserve to be able to get good quality health care in our communities, no different than those in those more affluent communities of our city. So that was something that we set out to do. And one of the first things that we did when we moved into the community is we opened this clinic back during the height of COVID. Yes. So one of the first things we did for the community was a community free COVID testing for the community.
Yes.
And we did several of those initiatives. Because again, one, we wanted to introduce ourselves to the community, let the community know that, hey, we are here to serve you. But secondly, we wanted to, again, provide those much needed services to a community that so desperately needed it.
And let me say this too, just kind of to continue with what Doc and I are saying. Doc keeps saying black, but this is bigger than just black people. This is everybody. All we have in our office, all races, white, Asian, Hispanic. And so God has given us this gift to take care of everybody. Yeah, Doc and I are black. Obviously, you can see that. You probably can hear it too. but just going off of what Doc was talking about as far as the community initiative during the pandemic, we served at each event that we had over 100 people of all walks of life that would come and partake. And that's how they got to know us. And we are humble in the fact that God has allowed us to take care of all peoples, all races, all sizes, all sexes, all that.
For the young Black student considering a career in chiropractic care, what advice would you give to them, and how can they connect with your foundation?
Definitely stay true to your goals and initiatives. Because again, as we've stated, there is a need, not just for people of color in the profession, but just all people in the profession, because we are dealing with a health disparity in this country in particular, but across the world as well. So we need more boots on the ground, if you will, that are geared toward helping people achieve optimal health and wellness without having to resort to major surgeries or a lifetime of drugs and prescription drugs and things of that nature. So this is a good alternative. This is the optimal alternative to that conventional model. So definitely anyone who's interested in pursuing this type of career, we encourage you to reach out to us. We are very active in the community. We are giving talks to the youth and career days and health fairs and things of that nature. We can be reached on social media at Align for Life. That's ALIGNED, the number 4, Life, LIFE, on all social media platforms. They can also reach us via our website, and they can get more information about our clinic and what we do, and also our scholarship opportunities. www.alignedforlifewellness.com.
Yes. And also you can get us at yourfinespine.com as well. That's yourfinespine.com. What I will also say as far as advice to young people is, I like what Doc said, is be true to yourself. So wherever you are right now, even if that's boots on the ground kicking up dust, as Doc alluded to, if you working a hard labor job, if you are riding cows or whatever, you can still become a chiropractor. You can still become a health practitioner. That journey that you're on will actually make you a better person to relate, let's just say, to other people who will probably be or have done things that you've done. And so that's another thing that Doc and I have been blessed because of our different backgrounds. We're able to relate to a lot of different people on different levels. And so that, again, is something that I would tell any young at heart or even young, just in general, physically young in age, that to be true to yourself, but know that that you can, I don't care what you're doing now, you can become a healthcare practitioner. You just got to put your mind to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just want to say I thank you both doctors for coming onto the show today and spilling some gems about chiropractic care and debunking some myths.
Yes.
This one would be like a personal question, but could you guys tell me maybe like what's a bad way of like cracking your back? Because I've heard like people say don't crack your knuckles and stuff like that. Could y'all give me one thing?
I'm glad you mentioned that, and this is something that I have at least one conversation a day about this. So, as chiropractors, we do not pop or crack bones, because if we did, you'd be crippled. You wouldn't be able to walk.
Right.
So
At all.
So, as Doc mentioned, he went over some of the anatomy about the spine and the bones and joints. Okay, every joint in our body, no matter if it's in your knuckle, your knee, your back, your hip, doesn't matter. Every joint in your body is lubricated by a fluid-filled sac called the synovial sac. Okay, so that lubricates the joint just like oil lubricates a mechanical joint, right? That lubrication allows you to be able to move and function without doing damage to the joint itself or to the bone itself. However, once those joints in our body become misaligned due to trauma or whatever may be the case, they become inflamed. Inflammation presents as air pockets or air bubbles within that fluid-filled sac. It's filled with nitrogen gas, those air pockets. So when we adjust the bone and you hear that pop or you feel that crack, that is the release of those air pockets or those air bubbles. So that's why the myth that, oh, don't pop your knuckles because it's going to create arthritis, that is a myth. Because again, we're not popping or cracking the bones, we're releasing those air pockets. So chiropractic, the adjustment itself is not detrimental to your body. It's not going to cause degeneration or arthritis or any of those other myths that are out there. I always tell people, you coming to see your chiropractor or you being adjusted by your chiropractor is no more dangerous than you walking in to get a physical from your primary care provider. It's completely safe procedure.
And so again, as Doc say, we have these conversations on a weekly basis. So I was just telling a patient the other day, and they were asking me about, I like to do it myself. And I tell them, I say, look, talking about the neck, for example, I say, if you move your neck a certain way, and I just heard a pop there, as we like to say, that's fine. But when you force it, you know, when you doing and you doing all that kind of stuff, right? No, see, the body is in curves, right? If the body was a straight line, that might would be okay. But if you force something into the direction of curve, you could potentially block off an artery or a vein, which could lead into other series of strokes, heart attacks, all that kind of stuff. So again, take it to as far as you can go without forcing. That's fine. But the forcing, and even I've seen on cartoons where the cartoon characters will throw themselves across a trash can or something. No.
So it's one of those things. Don't try it at home.
Right.
Leave it up to the professional.
That's
we
right.
are trained. We are trained.
Right.
You know, because as Dr. Fowler mentioned, last thing I'll say is when we move the bone or we move the joint, we are moving it with specificity. We know what we're doing, and we know how it needs to move. We know what position it needs to be in. Right. When you're at home, you don't know that. You just know you hear the noise, right? That's right. And all of a sudden, you mess something up, and then you want to come to us and to fix. I'm not fixing it at that point.
right. And it could be a situation where it's past the point of fixing it. And
no, that's joking. We'll make sure that we get you right and we get you better again. But you know, yes, please leave it up to the professionals.
And what we like to say is, if you want to be fine, take care of your spine. You got to take care of your spine. And the spine is a series of joints, as Doc alluded to. The body is a series of joints. We even adjust feet because there's joints in the feet that people don't realize. And so by adjusting the feet or making sure they're properly aligned, for example, could alleviate you having knee pain or hip pain. And so because your pain is coming from a certain area does not mean that is the source or the cause of it. You feel the pain there, but it could be coming from somewhere else. It's just no different from if there's a wreck at I-20 and I-75, right? The backup could be way up to 400, but the cause is way over here at I-20, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Dr. Williams and Dr. Fowler, for being on the Health IQ today. I'm your host, Watobi, and I'm rolling out. Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was amazing.
All right.